The Board of Selectmen met Tuesday night with just one agenda item. Representatives from National Grid went before the board to submit an application for a grant of location to install and maintain a gas main on Hoyle Street. Following that hearing, the board discussed the warrants for the upcoming town meeting.
The first is the Moderna TIF. We have been approached by Moderna for a tax increment financing agreement. Item number 2 is the St. Streets land acquisition. As you know, in the spring we looked at the possibility of acquiring about 7 or 8 acres at the end of some of the St. Streets in South Norwood. We originally wanted to conclude that purchase at the annual town meeting. It took some time to work out the details. It would be a community preservation project. We are now ready to go forward. Article number 5 would transfer funds from the FY20 budget to the override stabilization fund. If the board remembers, we appropriated a certain amount of free cash to the school budget contingent on the override if the override did not pass, and the discussions then between the FinCom and the school committee and this board were that if the override passes, that additional allocation would not be needed, and therefore it would be returned to the general fund, or in this case the override stabilization fund. Number 14 is the acquisition of the East Walpole Cemetery. As the board is aware, several times over the last couple of probably 5 to 10 years, the East Walpole Cemetery Association has approached the town and asked the town if they'd be interested in purchasing the land. The cemetery itself is in about half in Norwood, and then there's some vacant land in Walpole. Town meeting, I believe, declined to purchase the land several years ago. I think the cost was around $1 million. They've come back and asked would we take as a gift the land that is primarily the cemetery. It's about 13 acres.
Just a reminder, the Board of Selectmen has ended their summer schedule and will be meeting weekly for the remainder of the year. The Town Meeting Rules Committee reconvened on September 3rd. Jerry Slater continued her discussion from the previous meeting about the electronic voting system that has been implemented in other communities in the Commonwealth.
It probably will be a time saver. Folks who are in this room who have been picked to be counters came up with that, and it's also going to. It also would increase the accountability to the public because the way electronic voting is done now, literally, your vote is tallied up on the screen. So in a representative town meeting, we're one of 32 communities that have representative town meetings in the Commonwealth. It would obviously give full transparency and accountability that way.
The board approved to recommend an e-vote system to the town. Their next meeting will be held on September 12th. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.